Hey, Neil, what's up?
Oh, hey, Cal. How's it going?
Good. I'm doing great. So we are here, episode 5 of season. Oh, shit. We've got to take 2 dude shirts off.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh,
God damn it.
Yeah, this was not scripted at all.
Of course you did.
Yeah, there it is.
Of course you did.
So, Neil, we have a special guest with us here today, Alan Placek.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Alan, how's it going?
I'm doing well. You?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So I figured this was actually a good song to lead in because how do we know Alan? Well, we played soccer with him since we were little.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Alan were both goalies, so we were always that something in the way.
Yes. Band I never was able to see in concert, too.
I know. I never was either. And
No.
I've told this story a million times, so it was my freshman year of college, right?
Yeah.
And we were playing Evansville, which was,
A school I hate.
well, it came down to UAD and Evansville, my last 2 schools. And I ended up going to UAD, and let's just...
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Mine was Butler in Evansville.
Was it really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, yeah, the goalie that graduated the year before me was, like, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, took him to the Final Four and everything.
Right.
And, you know, it was tight up to the end that I finally chose UAD. And, but we played them in my freshman year because they were still in our conference.
Mm-hmm.
It was at UAD, and we ended up tying 1-1. I'm like, all right, well, you know, maybe made the right decision, right? Well, I rolled my ankle so bad in that game. A couple weeks later, I'm supposed to stay home from this weekend road trip to Buffalo. Well, that same weekend, Nirvana was playing State Fairgrounds in Detroit. I'm like, oh, man. So I'm kind of playing it up, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's toward the end of the year. It was like in October, so we were MCC Horizon tournament's coming up. And
Yep.
literally the day before, you know what, we're going to take it just in case, you know, someone gets hurt. And then
Thanks, guys.
Then I end up playing both games.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. So that was my one chance that I actually had to go see him, and then because I mean it was that year.
Yeah.
You know, that was October. It was April. You know, he was gone.
No, every time we played Evansville, they came at me. I was told by their coach I've made the wrong decision. It was the worst decision of my life, and you're not going to learn anything at Butler. I was told that by the coach, and every game we played them, somebody came at me with a foot, a hand, anything.
All right.
It was bad.
No, so you know what? So I was 75. You were 76. So you were 1 year after me.
Yes.
So I called the coach and said, you know what, I made my final decision, and I'm going to go to UAD. And he said to me, he goes, I think you made the wrong decision. You call me back tomorrow when you make the right one.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm like a 17-year-old kid, right? You know, and I mean, we've had tons of schools, you know, and you're talking to all these people, and there's like, I was just taken aback, and I'm like, okay, and hung up. And
just like you went through the ODP program,
Right.
and he was an ODP regional team coach. And the year that I made the regional team, went down to national camp, he was there. So, and I believe he was the coach of the team. And that's where the recruiting process started. And how we got all of the Butler was actually playing U of D. And we went and saw a game, and at the time you had resumes that you were handing the coaches. It wasn't, there was no digital media or anything like that.
Well, and even then, I mean, because Michigan was a pipeline to Butler before you even went there.
With the Weigers.
With the Weigers and Justin Dunkel, who were going to
And Dunkel, yeah, nice.
Dunkel's going to be on in April.
Dunkel, yep.
And I think Noel Corwin.
Noel Corwin's there. Yep.
So, yeah, you had that initial pipeline, and all these guys just went there. And then back then, a bunch of the other ones went to UAD, you know. And we had just amazing games. But I want to get back to this Evansville.
Sure.
So the next, I get off the phone, and my parents are like, hey, how'd that go, you know? And I'm like, well, it was weird. And I told them what he said, and they said, well, what are you going to do? So I guess I'm going to call him back tomorrow and say I'm going to UAD. So I call him back, and I say, you know, I made my decision, and I'm sticking with UAD. Well, I really think you made the wrong decision, and if you go there, you're going to be a fat loser the rest of your life.
Oh, my gosh.
That's exactly what he told me, and I said, you know what? At least I know I made the right decision now. So now I'm going to fast forward. Freshman year, we tie them, right?
Yeah.
UAD was, I mean, the year before we got there, they started getting some players. and the Cudnick and Dario and some of the other guys. Kingsbury was
Blackwell.
There. Blackwell came in with our class.
With your guys, okay.
Yeah. So then we started playing. Evansville used to beat them like 6-7-0. All of a sudden we tie them. They were so pissed, And of course, crap field. Crap field. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a crap
so
field.
Horrible.
Still should have beat us. So then it was semifinals of the MCC tournament my freshman year. We get Evansville in the semis. We beat them 1-0, dude.
No way.
They scored on a bicycle kick. Best goal I've ever seen. I scored on it. High kick.
Oops. That's a shame.
And so we ended up winning. Johnny T scored. Truskowski.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, I just walked right up to Fred and I go, "You still think I made the wrong decision?" And I just turned around and walked away. And then I think it was the women's coach at UD. It was just, Fred! Hey, Fred! Just like totally. It was awesome, dude. And then we lost to Notre Dame in the final.
I went to Butler for my visit, Oakland, of course, and then they flew me down there, which was shocking to me. I was like, oh, you're going to fly me in and all that. Landed at the airport. No one picked me up for like 45 minutes. And already you're like, I hate this town. Met the guys, just didn't get a feel like I did at Butler or even at Oakland. And they offered money and all that, and it's always the, hey, am I going to play?
Right.
You'll have the opportunity, or to start. Will I be starting? You'll have the opportunity to start. I said okay. So I went there and came back home, and my dad was like, "So kid, how'd you like it?" I go, "Dad, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all." He goes, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "I want to go to Butler." I said, "Okay." So the Butler coach calls. They can only call you, like, I don't even know if it's still like that, but they can call you every 4 days or something, right?
Yeah.
Butler coach calls me, "Hey, Mr. Placek," or calls my dad, "Hey, Mr. Placek, how you doing? Ian Martin."
I remember Ian.
Yeah. How do you enjoy it at Evansville? Oh, he had a great time. He absolutely loved it. What do they offer him? Offered me a full ride. Okay. But you know what, Coach Martin? Alan really wants to go to Butler. And at the time, I only had to pay a little bit of money. But he goes, he really wants to go to Butler. What are you going to do about it? 4 days later, that's how my dad sold me. My dad sold me like a slave. Just sold me. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I was going to ask, like, what was the decision between Butler and Oakland? At
the time, Oakland was Division II, right? And all of us with our egos, we all wanted to play Division I.
Right.
Really did. And it was in my backyard. I wanted to go away. Yeah. Butler was just far enough to get away to where my parents just couldn't drop in and say hi.
Yeah.
So you knew they were coming in.
UD. No one wanted to drop in and say hi there.
No one wanted to go to UD and check it out. That's funny.
We barely wanted to be there. Yeah. Actually, we had a blast. You make fun no matter where you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, the best years of my life playing college soccer. I played after for a little bit, and it was a good time.
See, I didn't really.
No?
No. Obviously, like they said, those battles we had, we were the biggest rivalry in the conference. And then you throw in Milwaukee. It was like the triumvirate right there.
Right there, buddy. Milwaukee. That was playing at the Milwaukee field at their place. I hated because when you took a goal kick, I always stood past the goal line, and there was that fence right there. And they had there was a guy right here in my ear calling me every name in the book, whispering. I remember my mom. It was the conference finals my senior year. My mom's sitting in the stands. It's 28 degrees in Milwaukee, mid-November, 1.5 inches of snow on the ground. And she's screaming, "Get those kids away from..." I'm like, "Mom, shut the hell up. I don't need this shit." You're just egging them on. You're just egging them on. What the hell? And they did. And you just sit and you smile at them, right? What are you going to do about it?
The best part is when you win.
We won 1-0, and you're into the tournament.
Did anyone ever play a game against Milwaukee that wasn't 1-0? It seems like
2-1, 1-0, always a goal. But that was our biggest rival. Evansville, IU, of course. But coming to UD was always a huge one because all of us were coming back home. Yeah. So you always didn't want to lose your
friends
hometown.
And family came back,
pretty much,
and then we all knew each other.
Yeah.
I mean, so those are the best games to play in. So were you a 4-year starter at Butler?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was 4-year starter. That was my big thing. Like,
I wanted to play.
I wanted to go to Wisconsin because they kind of had the.
Dude, we had the same route. Wisconsin. Yeah, I had Wisconsin, Madison, Oakland, Evansville, Butler, Clemson at one point. Clemson at one point. So yeah, we had the same the same
And
route.
actually, literally, like within a few days after I committed to UAD, I got a call from Sasha from Maryland.
Mhm.
And he's like, hey, what do you think? I'm like, I just committed to UAD, I'm like, I can't do that, So I went to.
No, you made a commitment, and
absolutely.
It's not like
It
nowadays
wasn't
where
just
you
me because I knew I was going, Thomas was going, Pickler was going. We had all these guys, and like Blackwell.
You had a crew that was going that you knew that you could all gel together and have a good time.
I never met Blackwell until 2 weeks before he showed up to camp. He happened to be doing Camp at Country Day.
No way.
And he was living in California. I'm like, hey, do you play soccer in college? He's like, I didn't last year. He's like, I'm probably going to play junior college. I'm like, dude, you should come to UAD because he was from Troy.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like, they worked it out within 2 weeks. All of a sudden, here comes Blackwell walking in the preseason.
I find it funny how we all hate the same school. It's just Milwaukee, Evansville. It is. But like I said, our big rival, though, was IU, of course. Yeah. And, you did
beat them in the tourney.
My sophomore year. Yeah, we upset them.
That was the year you beat us in the finals 5-2 in overtime.
Yeah.
And we played, like, well over half the game with a man down.
Yes.
Yeah. So in that game against IU, did you think that was a upset, or did you think you had the better team?
Technically, they were ranked higher. We were at the time 9th in the country,
right?
And I think they were 2 or 3. Don't quote me on it, but they were higher ranked, and they were supposed to win. They were always supposed to win.
Going into that game, did you think that you would win?
We never went into a game thinking we were going to lose.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever.
You already lost.
Same.
You already did. So, but when we went there and we ended up scoring, we bunkered, like we scored, and I don't think we crossed midfield for
kind of like
30, 40 minutes. Just sat back and we just dumped it. And I can remember doing an interview after the game and like, so how did you feel? I'm like, longest game I've ever played in, and every 3 minutes I kept looking back and I'm like, just time, go away. It took forever.
I know a game I played in like that. It was my senior year.
Yeah, funny. We blew that game, in my opinion. And Blackwell busted one in the upper 90 on me.
That was it. Yeah. So Georgie scored early. He came through, and nothing you can do. Georgie's a finisher. He just bends it around you at far post. Nothing you can do. Everyone knows it's coming. You know it's coming. You're not getting it.
You can't do it,
And then that's the same thing we did. We bunkered down, and, I mean, you guys are just pressure. And then, it was Blackwell nutted the dude, like the corner of the 18, and then just hit it. And it was like,
he buried it.
I've never seen a goal like that.
He buried it. I think he buried it with the outside of his foot, too, which is even more ridiculous. And I went for it. You couldn't get it.
That was, there was like maybe 5 minutes left, so we knew that was it.
That was it.
But do you remember how we got there?
No.
You were watching the game when we played Milwaukee. And we went 1-1. Then we had the 2 normal overtimes, 2 sudden death overtimes that went to a shootout.
Did it really?
Yeah.
And Dario missed our 3rd shot. They made their first 4, and it came down to David Marshall.
Interesting.
And I saved it.
Okay.
And then it came down to our 5th shooter. 4-acre buried it. Came down, sudden death, 6th shooter. And I want to say the dude, Chris Metz or something. I don't know. He was a left footer on Milwaukee.
Okay.
And he goes my left, and I just knew it. And I mean, I caught the bitch.
Did you really? Those are the best. Those are the best.
And then Pickler.
How's that feel?
And then Pickler steps up, like.
Fucking pick.
Brought him in late in the overtime, just 4 PKs and buried.
That's awesome.
But I'll never forget. I mean, you guys played after us, so I mean, and it was November. There was snow throughout the game. At some point, Savvy scored to tie it 1-1, and that last shooter's coming up, and he scores it. Like, my career's over. These 10 other guys, and someone yelled out, "How nervous are you, goalie?"
Yeah, those guys in the back.
And
such dicks.
It's probably this guy.
They're more geeks than anything.
And I say that, and I'm moving so early, I'm like catching it behind here, and I just stood up. How nervous do I look now, bitch?
That's awesome.
But 4-acre, if he didn't bury that, we still lose, and that dude just stepped up.
Yeah, my last game was against IU, again, in the tournament, in triple overtime.
Oh, shit.
And
There's nothing worse.
There was a cross that came in, guy headed it, I just took off flying. There was nothing you can do.
Well, that part of this show has been fun.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But like I said, we go back years. And what I picked up on you recently, because we haven't seen each other probably since '97,
Pretty much.
is that we ended up at some shows together without knowing it last year, and it seems like music's been a pretty important part of your life.
Yeah, my first. So I was talking on the way out here. I was supposed to have my first concert.
This one's for Herb Pickler.
my first concert that I was supposed to go to, I won the tickets off the radio, like 96.3 in 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
And it was Public Enemy and Kid and Play.
Oh, nice.
And I couldn't go because the regional championships were going on for club, and they were in Kalamazoo. So I gave the tickets to Seamus Rustin's cousin, and she went. Remember Seamus?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He ended up passing away, and I gave him the cousin the tickets to go. Then 9th grade, I even wrote the date down. I had to look it up. December 2nd, 1990, at Joe Louis Arena.
Wow.
Poison and Warrant, the Flesh and Blood Cherry Pie Tour.
Nice.
That was my first show that I ended up ever going to. And then after that, I always wanted to go to shows. I think for the fact, too, that, you figure it's the early 90s, you're coming out of the 80s, you've got the cameras that are on stage, and once again, my first show, and all of a sudden, there are cameras with the big, are showing women on the big screen, they're all lifting their tops. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on here?
What is this?
This is awesome. And then I think the next show after that I remember was Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and Faith No More, the Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 tour at the Silverdome.
I was going to say, we're at the Silverdome.
So,
Wow.
wait, JNR and Faith No More?
And Metallica.
And Metallica, holy shit.
I would like to see
So was that
They were
Metallica
good.
headlining?
No, Guns N' Roses was
Okay.
headlining.
Gotcha.
At least at that one. They may have
Right,
swapped, but at least that one. That's what
No,
they
I
did.
remember there was a time where I think Metallica opened, and then... Oh, no, it was always Metallica. Yeah, that's right. It's probably like the same time when Hatfield lit on fire in Toronto, remember?
I think it might have been before that happened.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. And Faith No More, what did you think about them?
They were good. First, you only knew, except I'm 16 maybe,
Right.
and didn't know a ton. Hell, going back then, I just started listening from the kids in high school, finding AC/DC and things like that. Even though I had older brothers, I was still listening to the radio, right? I wasn't going to shows or anything else.
My first show was in '90 also.
Yeah, they were good. They were. From what I remember, they were really good.
Well, that's the thing. Like Faith No More, I don't really remember much. I know a couple songs that you see on the radio, but it's like now I'm in all these Facebook groups. Like people are like, oh my god, they were so great in the '90s. I'm like, were they? I don't know. They might have been
Two songs. From what I remember, 2 or 3 songs.
I never dug into them. Maybe they were better than I ever gave them credit
Midnight
for.
Crisis was one of them, and then their other their main. That was the other one. Yeah. So those were good shows.
No, that's awesome. So what is it? Obviously, since '90, and you're still going. You go to seems like
I'll do at least
once a month, maybe. Or?
I'll do at least. Well, in the summer, it's usually 5 or maybe 6 shows, but I'll hit a couple in the winter and.
Okay. About 10 shows a year, maybe.
Yeah, about that.
And what is it about it that keeps you going?
I love the atmosphere. You got to love the atmosphere of a live show. And I'm a sound guy, so whenever we'll go and get seats, I'll always get seats right by the soundboard. They don't have to be front row. I'll go right by the soundboard because that's the best sound in the place. Huh. But the atmosphere is what I like, and just wanting to hear that band, and you hear the CD or the tape back in the day, and do they sound the same? Is there a backtrack? Is there auto tune? And back then there was none. There was no auto tune going on or anything like that. So
you either actually did your own shit, or you were lip syncing, and that was blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if you wanted to get a better sound, you dubbed over each other. You had a double track or a triple track to get proper sound.
Right.
There was a video that I just saw the other day with Nirvana. On Nirvana, how Dave Grohl and Kurt Cobain, they double tracked their voices to make it sound like there were more of them and more crisp, and it was that I love that. So that's what I ended up going to school for.
Oh, really?
I was an athletic training major for 2.5 years, and then saw an injury that I just couldn't handle. I don't like the kids screaming and all that. I was like, I'm done. I got a deer, no big deal, right? But the bone's sticking out or a kid's screaming, I'm like, I'm done. So I turned to radio, TV, telecommunication arts, and I went through a production track, and I loved it. And sound was one of the things that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yeah. So when I see this, like coming here and set, I'm like, wow, you guys got a pretty decent setup for, just getting going.
Garage band.
Just getting going.
Make it better, Alan.
These are actually really nice. They're nice,
dude. So me and Neil, when we were talking about doing this, right? And I mean, it happened fast. Like I came up with the idea in March, and then me and Neil, we said, all right, we're going to record. It was like April 10th. It was like a Saturday. I was at Best Buy on Thursday.
Shut up, really? That's awesome.
Because I was like, you know what? I put it all out there first, and like, if I don't do this, there's a chance I won't do it. So I put it all out there. I'm like, fuck, now I gotta actually do it. So I go to Best Buy, and this one dude, he sees me like I got like one of these ring lights. I got like this random microphone. He's like, what you doing there?
Oh, who's the new influencer now?
I'm like, I'm gonna start a podcast, and I was telling him about it. He's like, it's actually a good idea, but I think you might want to go with something more like this. And he got me like all this shit and like got it at like his cost almost.
Yeah, that's awesome.
4 microphones, soundboard, lights and shit. It was like $350 or something. It was amazing.
That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad at all.
No, but yeah, it was pretty funny. He's like, so, you're going to want to do this and that. I'm like, dude, no, I have already got it going. I just need the equipment. I'm recording.
Yeah.
At this point, it was supposed to be the next day.
We're starting tomorrow.
Friday night.
We're starting tomorrow, damn it.
Yeah. He's like, well, I don't know if I can get all this stuff there tomorrow, but, so it actually, all that shit showed up on Friday, but we ended up recording Saturday. And so we had some learning curves, to say the least, but it's been fun along the way. And this is, what it's all about. So the one we'll start with is we knew we were at last year together was Smashing Pumpkins.
They cut their set because of the rain.
Yeah, fucking storm.
We missed. It was at least 5, maybe 6 songs.
Yeah, I think it was 6. I think 6.
I think it was.
Smashing Pumpkins is my favorite band.
Okay, they are mine too. Jesus Christ.
Serious, goalkeepers are weird, dude. I'm telling you.
They've always said that. So, real quick, just to get back in the subject. So, you mentioned ODP. So, I mean, that's really where me and you first met, really.
Yes.
Was during the
goalkeeper trainings with Brian Board.
Brian Board. Oh my God, he was the best.
He was awesome. Taught me how to throw.
He was in a band.
Shut up.
He was in a band. He was a drummer in a band.
Like a Trinidad and Tobago band? Jamaican band? What band was he in? Where was he from? He was originally from.
He was from, I
thought it was Trinidad.
I think it was Trinidad. I think it was. Oh my God. It was like my first.
Kind of cannon for an arm.
Yes.
Cannon for he could
throw the ball 70 yards.
Yes.
On
over midfield
without effort.
Oh.
And he's the one who taught me to throw. And get that snap of the wrist.
Yes.
Snap of the wrist at the end, the backspin on the ball, and you're like, next to know, the ball's going 15 yards longer. I'm like, holy shit. This shit does work. That's what I teach the kids nowadays. They're like, what do you mean snap your wrist? Just watch my old ass try and do it. Now the ball goes like this. Just a little loop. Yeah, barely able to lift my shoulders anymore. Lift my arms. Shit.
So yeah, when was the first time you saw the Pumpkins then?
Ooh, I do know that. State Fairgrounds. It had to have been my sophomore or junior year in high school.
Okay.
It was it was like the Gish album.
So actually, it was I saw him at State Fairgrounds. I was a freshman in college. It would have been.
It could have been the summer going into my senior year because I know the girl that I went with.
It was I was at UD, so it would have been November. It was right after the season. It was at State Fairgrounds, so it was about 6 months after Siamese Dream came out. But the concert was heavy Gish, and that's all it was. It was Gish and Siamese Dream. And that, that's when the first time I saw them, and I was hooked from that point forward.
That's when I saw them. Me and a couple guys from high school, the girl I was dating at the time went, and had a blast. And then we were, talking about going to the Lollapaloozas and that. Like I said, 3 days. That's the most amount of times I've seen of one band was with Smashing Pumpkins. The next one would be probably Metallica.
Okay. Yeah, I would say Pumpkins is definitely up there, and then probably Rusted Root is the one.
Yeah, they're good. I like them.
Oh my God, they're the best. They're just so much fun.
I've seen them once, and it was in downtown Detroit for it was Taste Fest. I believe it was. So, and Rusted Root was there. They were phenomenal. Nobody was there. Nobody got it.
No, and I didn't realize for the longest time they actually played '99 Woodstock.
Yes, I actually just listened to that.
And he was actually
yesterday.
You know what? He actually had a bald head.
So good. Yes,
I saw the video.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, what the hell?
No
It's
flowing
completely
locks
bald.
anymore.
Right.
Vest on with no.
None of us have our
shirt
flowing
on.
locks anymore.
No, we always had them. But it's funny you bring them up because we saw them at it was like a show for autism back in like 2012 at a strip mall.
No
they
way.
Just like set up a stage and
Just off they went.
And it was awesome.
Huh.
They had an opening band. I mean, they had beer, they had everything.
Yeah, I was.
It's like a little open field.
Pumpkins have always been one of the shows I would always try and go to. And Metallica with my other buddy Daryl. He introduced me to Metallica back in the day, and ever since, like every time they're in town.
So you went to the two shows?
No, I had to go. We had a soccer tournament that I had to go into. So, but whenever they are in town, I think the last time was the Orion Festival.
Okay. I've never seen Metallica. Have you seen them?
No.
Oh, they're fun, and they sound great.
Actually, they do. I've seen them live on YouTube, and they sound really good.
And when they came here, I'm like, man, I feel like I should go to this. I just felt like I should. Of course, I didn't.
Am I turning grumpy and old that tickets for a Metallica show for 2 days was like $300 and some bucks to $500 a ticket? Or
it's insane. I don't even want to get into what I paid for Pearl Jam last year at actually Ruloff in Noblesville. Have you been there?
Yeah, I'm
just figuring you probably
in school. In school, it was Deer Creek.
Yeah.
Just like Pine Knob was
it
was Deer Creek. I've seen Rage Against the Machine there back in college. What other Wu-Tang? I think the Wu-Tang Clan were there.
Nice.
I think it was Wu-Tang and Rage Against the Machine at the same time.
Wow.
So there was college, so it's a little bit of a blur, but I hate to say it. But there were a few shows that I went there, and it's a nice it's like DT or it's like Pine Knob. It's a nice place.
Is it about the same size?
I thought it was a little bigger.
A little bigger. Okay. So I got tickets aftermarket lawn, just ridiculous. Me and my brother-in-law were driving down, and then it was postponed on the drive down because Matt Cameron had COVID.
Oh,
so
that's awful.
So and then he just
turned
the fuck around.
So we did. We did.
You probably just.
Oh my God, damn it! That's the only thing I will say.
We're gonna really hang on Noblesville.
So it was that week. It was Pumpkins were September 6th.
Mm-hmm.
September 8th, me, Kennedy, and Avery, my kids, went and saw Greta Van Fleet at LCA, and then September 10th, which was Sunday, was going to be Pearl Jam. It was like
a nice
it was like the summer of Kal.
Yeah.
It took me back like 30 years too, with the bands, and we turned right the fuck around. The only good thing was first weekend of football.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll take
the
trade-off. So now it's been postponed. They never did cancel it, and they are announcing their tour because they just came Pearl Jam to come out with their new album. I don't know if it's actually dropped yet, but of course all their 10 people are allowed to hear it.
There's some decent. There's some
supposed to be August 26th now. Of course,
okay.
On Monday.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, of course it's a Monday. Well, there's some decent venues down there. You've got, I can never pronounce it, Ruff.
I don't know.
There's the Vogue.
I say Ruoff.
It's
gotta be Ruoff.
There's the Vogue in Broad Ripple, which is kind of like a mini state theater, almost like the Emerald. If you ever been to the Emerald Ballroom,
yeah.
They put up some good shows. There was a State Fairgrounds. I ended up seeing 311 in Cypress Hill there one
311 is another one. Like I never.
They're really good.
And people love them, and they have like almost like a Grateful Dead like following.
Yeah.
From what I hear, like to go to all these shows.
Yeah. March 11th is coming up.
They are coming in town again, aren't they?
Day, yeah.
March 11th.
Yeah.
311 Day. I thought they were coming in town too, but
I think they usually play in. Well, I think they do a Vegas show, and at least they have over the time.
One thing that we missed off on was I was trying to get tickets in Vegas for the Killers for the month of August, and I failed.
That's their hometown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I failed. That's another good band, good group to see. First time
I've never seen them.
Oh,
I've always wanted to
do it. It's fun.
My brother went and saw them at Boston Calling.
Yeah.
Festival out there. It was Killers were there, and Portugal the Man.
First time was probably around 2006-ish. I was working for a radio station and saw them. Their album just came out. Their first album, Hot Fuss, just came out, and it was St. Andrews.
No shit.
1,000 people in St. Andrews had no idea who they were, and me and my buddy were there. I knew from listening to the album. They played their the whole album, and that was it. About an hour and 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
And that was a really good show.
How many great venues do we have around?
I love St. Andrews. Yeah, St. Andrews is one of my favorites to go and watch.
St. Andrews is definitely tops. I love Royal Oak Music Theater. Another one is the Majestic downtown.
The Majestic's nice.
That's like where you catch those people right before they blow up. So like you said, you see a great show because you've already been into them, but you're like, holy crap, there's like 500 to 1,000 people here.
Well, here's an interesting one that is coming in town. I believe it's in September at the Magic Bag in Ferndale, Lords of Acid.
So we talked yesterday. You mentioned that,
yeah.
And I saw that today. Yeah, and I didn't know until today. Yeah, Magic Bag. That place is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is, me and Neil were just there for Mudhoney.
Oh, nice. That'd be fun to see.
Mm-hmm. It was amazing. And then Hoover 3 opened up for him.
Okay.
Which is a band out of L.A. They were so cool. Such a great band. Every time I got to say 5-piece, guitar, drums, bass, saxophone, keyboards. And it's just like, so their music is all across the board, Okay. But then Mudhoney. I'm like, I'd never seen them before. And like,
I've never seen them.
And I mean, they're like the OGs. Like they are. Mark Arm was grunge before it was even grunge.
Before it was even around.
Came up with the word.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
And like, so, but I didn't know what to expect. I'm like $40, Magic Bag, and it's Mudhoney.
Yeah, it feels like it's 1994 all over again.
Right.
$30 tickets, hell yeah, I'm in.
Right,
want to take my money? Go ahead. It's like the ministry show.
Give me $6.
Ministry show, like $60. Take my money. Go ahead. I'm more than happy to pay that.
We're going to ministry.
Yeah, but isn't Shaq?
Shaq, yeah, me and Shaq, and then
I'll go. Yeah, me and
Jake.
Someone else doesn't want to go, but and Jake.
Yeah,
I know Jake's going to be there, so I'm
sure
we'll run into some other people too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you mentioned Lollapalooza. That's the only time I've ever seen Ministry, and that was in '92, which you could argue is maybe the best lineup, just because Pearl Jam, Jesus and Mary Chain, Soundgarden. Ministry, Ice Cube, and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And this is my problem that I
have. And I was passed out cold on that hill.
Really?
Like, I remember, like, hearing just bits and pieces of Pearl Jam playing and, like, Jesus and Mary Chain and, like, kind of getting up, like, halfway through Soundgarden's set. And then, I'm like 17. It's my summer of my senior year going into college.
Summer of Cal. Summer of George.
And all of a sudden, Ministry started, and the place just erupted, and then Ice Cube and Red Hot Chili Peppers. And it's just like you said, like, you go to those shows when you're younger, but then you only hit one every once in a great while, because you're like 15, 16 or whatever.
And
it's like once I started hitting them, like, late high school, early college, and I'm like, I'm going to everyone I can possibly.
The Lollapalooza years.
It was amazing.
Blurred together, to be honest with you, because it's like, I thought I saw these guys at this show, and you were like, no, this was 94.
Well, the only reason is because I've gone, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that setlist.com or whatever, you can go in and figure out.
Setlist.fm or something like that.
Where you figure out all the shows you've been to, and it gives you everything they played. So I've gone through, and that's why I don't remember any of that shit. That's the only thing I read about it like the last 6 weeks.
And here now, that website, which I do love dearly, I go to shows, I'm like, all right, what song's next? All right, what songs come on? They played this last. This isn't they're out of order. Yes, they're not doing the same set list as last night.
That thing with the Pumpkins. The Pumpkins in the summer tour.
They switched their shit up a little bit.
A little bit, but they were pretty much straight across the board. I noticed for the latest one. We saw them in May in Columbus, where they played "Drown" and I forget a song off of Gish that wasn't Siva, because they played that when we were there, which is super cool. And then, but I saw him when Jane's Addiction opened up for him at LCA in November of 22.
That's where I was supposed to go, and my dad got sick, and I had to fly out of the country to go. And I ended up, luckily, my brother's friend bought the tickets off of me, but I was supposed to be at that show.
Oh my God, that was for me, that was almost like my perfect lineup. James Addiction.
That would be
I mean,
great.
it was missing Navarro, but
Sure.
as long as you got Perry and the other two, I mean, at least you got something.
Well, another rainstorm that we sat through this summer was we went to the Cure.
Oh yeah, I saw the pictures of that one.
And that we were drenched. We had lawn tickets. I snuck us into the pavilion just enough to just get underneath, and the seats were open and no one bugged us, and it's not like we looked out of place or anything like that. So that was good. But that was a show that I was.
How was it?
It was good.
Yeah, I always liked.
It was slow. It was slow and long. Well, you might as well just talk. Go ahead. You're going to.
You're going to.
No, it's a Cure show, right? So it's.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're getting.
You're not going to a ministry. You're not going.
Right.
It's you're listening to the sound and his voice and everything else. Depeche Mode was great this past winter. We went to that. I don't even know who opened up. I don't remember who opened up.
That's one of those bands where I never fully appreciated them back then, but like
we were too young.
Yeah, but
that's an '80s band, right?
Like, now you hear it and
too busy listening to Michael Jackson and whatever poppy song was on the radio.
Well, actually, I was more into hip hop in that time.
The '80s.
Eric B. and Rakim.
Well, I guess not until around like 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. Like, Public Enemy. Then NWA came around, and then one of my favorites, 2 Live Crew. 2 Live Crew was out.
2 Live Crew.
Oh, I love some 2 Live Crew. I have a buddy of mine who will know that I'm in a bar somewhere, and the app that you can use with the jukebox in the bar. And he will literally I'll be sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear, "Oh, me so horny, oh, me so horny," and he will play that song,
which was sampled in Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. What do we get for $10? So he will always put that on, and Antonio Trivoloni. Oh yeah. All right. A person who loves Depeche Mode. He is such a diehard Depeche Mode fan, and when he hears this, he's going to be like,
"Did you guys go together or no?"
Oh, no, he hates Depeche Mode. That's hilarious. But I had a conversation with a buddy of mine last night. He goes, "Al, you got to do something tomorrow." I'm like, "What's that?" He goes, "If you're talking about Depeche Mode or anything, you got to get in there. That Antonio Trivoloni loves Depeche Mode, so it's always going to be out there." So Antonio Trivoloni loves Depeche Mode with a passion.
I cannot wait to just cut that out, and we'll use it as a promo for your episode.
Absolutely.
Who is this guy? Why does he love Depeche Mode so much?
Coming up next week, Antonio Trivoloni with a Depeche Mode lover. Absolutely. He will love every minute of it. I cannot wait to play this for him now.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah.
So, being a huge Pumpkins fan, what did you think of the show from what we saw?
It was good. They sounded good. They got, they had 3 out of the 4 in the lineup. Darcy's the bass player. She's gone, and she's going to be gone.
Can people just let go of it? Like, she hasn't been around since like 2000, so they've now had different bass players for longer than she was in the band. I get
absolutely.
it. The OG lineup, you can't touch it.
But they're great.
I saw when Siamese Dream came out. Mm-hmm. I saw him at the fairgrounds.
I saw him at IU.
I saw him at Breslin and at Lollapalooza, all within a year.
Yeah.
And it was great and it was awesome. But she's been gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's always really. Corrigan and Chamberlain, those are the two that are driving that band. His guitar and
the drums are phenomenal.
Drums are insane.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Iha's great because of what he does. So having him back, oh my God, it's amazing.
They
just
really
lost Jeff Schroeder.
Yes.
Or Schrader, whatever. So he's gone, and they've had Jack Bates on bass for I think since 2015.
They sounded wonderful. I would still go and see them.
In fact, his dad is Peter Hook. Jack Bates,
really,
from New Order, and and actually plays with them when he's not with the Pumpkins. He'll go on tour with Peter Hook and the Light. They're coming to Royal Oak in September.
Okay, I think
I'm going to go because I just got a notice: buy 1 ticket, get 1 free.
Oh no!
So I might not have to go to a concert alone.
Take my money. Once again, just take my money. Free tickets. But I can't remember if it was before or after Pumpkins. At Pine Knob, there was Weezer and Modest Mouse, And Modest, I love Weezer. I'll see Weezer whenever they come in town. But Modest Mouse was really good. They're coming again back to
with the Pixies.
With the Pixies,
Yeah.
who I would like to go and see.
That'd be a good show.
Freedom Hill.
That would
I
definitely
like
be a good
Modest
show.
Mouse. Modest Mouse is good. They're old stuff. I mean, they're a
old
band that have been around for a long time.
But they sounded like not many people. Yes, they've been around a lot, but not many people. They only know a couple songs, and that's
Right.
it, right? It's not like they got a lot of radio play or anything
No.
like that. But they sounded phenomenal.
They have some music
And they're-
from back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Their drummer just passed.
I didn't know
Modest
that.
Mouse.
I didn't know that.
Cancer.
Oh no way!
A year or so ago.
I didn't know that
And,
one. I looked that one.
It was like he kept going, right? You know, up until the end. You know, didn't really talk about it much, and then all of a sudden it just hit super fast.
Huh?
And yeah, it was
That
probably about.
sucks.
Yeah, I mean, not to be
Yeah.
a downer,
No.
But,
Yeah, way to go, Cal.
but they are still coming back. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, and that was one because they were actually just here with.
They were. I wanted to go.
Yeah, it was with
Somebody just buy
Death
me a
Cab for
Modest
Cutie,
Mouse.
wasn't it?
Modest Mouse.
Were they together or no?
I don't think it was Death.
Oh,
No,
Weezer, like I said, Weezer this summer. That's when I. That's
So
when I
did you
saw
go
them.
to the Weezer Green Day Fall Out Boy show at Comerica? That was what, a couple years ago.
No, I've never seen Green Day. This summer will be the first time I've.
So I never have either.
Seen Green Day.
Are you excited about Green Day?
I am. Yeah, actually, I paid for those. I'm on.
You paid more than I
I'm on-
did, even,
yeah,
and I
I
paid for
paid-
pretty good.
I
You're on
paid
the main
those.
floor.
I'm on the main floor, I'm about 30 rows off
That's
the
amazing.
stage.
That's amazing.
We went and saw the stadium tour there with Def Leppard and Motley
Oh.
Crue, Poison, and Joan Jett. Good show. I would rank it, if I was going to rank the bands of how they sounded, Def Leppard definitely sounded the best.
I wouldn't surprise me if Joan Jett was second.
Joan Jett was probably third. Yeah,
Cruise.
Poison actually sounded really
was it?
good.
Yeah.
Poison
Actually, no,
sounded
that,
really
that doesn't
good.
surprise me. Actually, and they're doing it like every summer. They're
Yeah.
out there touring.
And Motley Crue
Awful.
was, as much as you know you have the history and all that, they weren't that great. I
No.
hate to say it. And then we ended up this summer again going to see Bret Michaels at the Party Gras tour.
I saw that one.
That
What
was-
was that all about? 'Cause it was just him, right?
No, oh no,
No, I mean, it wasn't Poison. It was just Bret Michaels.
correct, but it was an adventure. It was an adventure. Let's just say I was pulled to the show, dragged to the show
Hey,
because.
but you know what? It's a live show.
Someone in
Summertime.
my life here loves Bret Michaels with a passion, and she wanted to go, so we went. And
Does she like his bald head
she,
that he covers up?
she loves
with
every
everything?
part of that.
Part of his
it's
mascara
ridiculous.
and his eyeliner, guy liner.
She met him. She has a picture with him. I mean, it's
cool.
still in her family room. I'm like, really? There's not a picture of us there, but there's a picture of Brett. But actually, you know what? It was fun. Mark McGrath came out.
Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray.
Neil's a huge Sugar Ray fan.
No, I'm not.
Neil and his brother Tommy just used to sit in their room and listen to Sugar Ray all the no.
But it was the tour and the setup and the music itself was decent. It was a fun afternoon and a fun evening. I can't complain.
And where was that at?
At Pine Knob.
It was at Pineapple. Okay.
Yeah.
So
We had decent seats right in the
So-
again center, right in front of the soundboard.
Soundboard,
Yeah.
and Def Leppard is coming to Comerica.
Yes.
And who are
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Journey, I think.
Journey?
Def
Is it
Leppard, Journey, and actually Steve Miller is going to be in Detroit.
Oh no.
I know
way.
they're flipping back and forth a couple different ones,
Okay.
but for Detroit it's going to be Steve Miller.
We should go
Nice.
see that show.
We can.
Let's do it.
And
wanna
Steve
see
Miller
Def Leppard.
actually just recently, I think, opened up for the Eagles in Detroit.
Two bands I still haven't seen.
And
Oh,
well,
I-
my mother and father-in-law, I think, went to the Eagles, and it was supposed to be a different band. And like literally in the 11th hour, they had to back out due to
Oh, no way.
something, and they just filled in with Steve Miller.
No one big.
Right,
Just go ahead. Steve, you busy?
Yep.
We need your band in.
Steve Miller's 80 years old. Dude.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
That's what. Well, I
He's
did.
72 or something.
I
just
didn't.
saw that.
I
Can we have a
actually. I
research
didn't. I didn't put it in the Googler, so I'm going by what.
Can the
my in-laws
research
told me.
department look up how old Steve Miller is? That'd be great.
But just throw it right there in the
Steve Miller
Googler.
age.
Grab the Google machine and.
He's 80.
I thought so.
he's still going, right? He's still going.
Well, that's like, so we're going to Porno for Pyros at the Fillmore the 27th of February.
Nice.
And I've never seen Porno for Pyros. I've seen Jane's Addiction a couple times. And I mean, but Perry Farrell is, I've always loved him. And this is like their actual farewell.
That's it. They're
for Porno for Pyros.
Is it like Kiss where they're going to go
like
8 farewells?
I think they're done. I think they'll do some festivals and shit like that, but they're not going to tour. I don't think. They came out with a couple new songs, which are pretty cool. But the thing I still can't get over is Perry Farrell's 64 years old. You know, and I know a bunch of the people that we loved back in the day.
We're getting old.
No, I know, but they're definitely in their 50s. But then it's like, he's like actually kind of the grandfather of this whole thing. When you look at it.
Yeah.
And he is, like we've mentioned a million times with Lollapalooza and everything. I mean, that guy has been so. I mean,
he's the creator. Yeah, he was a big thinker and had a good vision and fulfilled it.
And one of the first ones too to kind of like have success with Jane's Addiction, do the whole Lollapalooza thing, and then just go right into Porno for Pyros and kind of go back and forth. And like I said, I saw Jane's in November 22, but Porno for Pyros is like a totally different band. You obviously know it's the same singer.
Singer, but yeah,
they definitely have different styles.
Yeah, definitely musically different.
Porno for Pyros is definitely not as bass driven and stuff like that. And it's tough to touch Navarro's guitar. So what do you got coming up? I know we talked about Saviors. Let's talk about that a little bit. We got Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins. Ministry. Rancid.
Oh, no. Yeah, at that show.
Oh, yeah.
At that show, Rancid, yep.
Rancid and the Linda Lindas. I've been trying to talk to him going with Shaq and Pickler because it's just me and my kids, Kenny and Avery, right now. But I want to do a tailgate episode. I know you were going there, and there'll be other people, and plus you get the randos coming by. Yeah,
we'll get we can do that. I'll be there.
I hate to say
I'd love to do it.
As much as I appreciate the Linda Linda's music, if I didn't see them because we were out in the parking lot tailgating, it wouldn't break me. If I catch Rancid for the last few songs, I'm sure I'll be okay.
It'd be good.
I'm excited about Green Day. I've never seen them.
I've never seen them either.
And I learned from you they're doing both albums.
They're doing Dookie from beginning to end.
And
American Idiot from beginning to end. Yes.
I hate to say it, but that's my sweet spot. Like, that's when I love
sprinkle in other songs, I'm sure.
Well, there's 20 right there, right off the bat.
They'll probably knock out a handful, 3, 4, 5 others.
The top singles. Top singles off their last one.
2 albums back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but 2 albums full through. And they're going to play all those.
Or play the first album, you sprinkle in a couple hits.
They'll play a couple new ones, maybe one. I know there's one single out right now off of Sabres that they have that I hear all the time on satellite.
Well, I said, let's keep this shit going. Why don't the Pumpkins just play Siamese Dream in its entirety?
Yeah.
It'll be 31 years old at that point.
So here's that. Remember I told you about the Orion Festival? So it was 2 days. Metallica was headlining pretty much both days. And they had a bunch of side stages, and the Riff had an app that was going on, and it would send you information here and there. So I'm paying attention to the app. One of the God, who was it? The Irish band. They always play.
Mumford & Sons?
No. The Rock. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot their name. Dropkick Murphys. Dropkick Murphys are on stage, all right, and they start off with like their most popular song. Then their second most popular song. Then their third most popular song. Then my phone goes off and says, hey, there's Dahan is playing on stage number 3. So I go to my buddy. I'm like, hey, it's kind of odd that I don't know a lot of Dropkick Murphy songs, but we're already through 3 of their top 5 songs. I go, let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
So we walk over to this other stage, and we're probably standing maybe 15, 20 rows out. Dahan ends up being Metallica, and they played I think it was Ride the Lightning. It was the 30th anniversary from beginning to end all the way through.
No kidding.
Holy shit.
And no one knew about it. Then I found out my other buddy was still watching the Dropkick Murphys, and the Murphys went, hey, I don't know if you guys want to know this or not, but the band over there that you hear playing, that's Metallica, and everyone turned and bolted. And they left.
Wow.
So that's why the Dropkick Murphys played their top 5 songs first, and then they were done.
So you said Orion Festival. Where is that at?
That was at Belle Isle. It was a 2-day event. Yeah, it was a 2-day event.
What year was this?
Ooh, 5, 8, 9, 10, 2012 maybe, 2013.
That's crazy though to do something like that. Like in 2012.
I'm so blurred on years now.
No,
I
not
hate
even
to
that.
say it,
But
if you're in the 5-year range, you're
no.
I'm looking at. I've been at this job for 5 years.
It wasn't like in the 90s, early 2000s.
No.
This is when they were like.
This is in the past
huge.
10 years.
Yeah.
Within the past 10 years, easily.
So I'm going to a concert at the Urethra Theater, which is the Urethra one, Franklin. I
Okay.
think it's the old Hart Plaza.
Okay.
It's now the Urethra Franklin.
Okay.
And it's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. You ever heard of them?
No.
It's this band out of Australia. And my daughter said, "Hey, you should listen to this band." Like the first time, like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But of course, that's how music is. Like the first time, I'll never forget. Like the first time I heard Dave Matthews, I'm like, this kind of sucks.
Mhm.
But I listen to him more. I mean, I kind of like the horns.
Grows on you.
It grows on you.
Yeah.
Like the early Dave Matthews, now I could give or take,
Mhm.
But I was in college when it broke, whatever. But so this band, and I'm like, now it's kind of grown, but they are just super music. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's like a jam band, but almost like an electronic feel to them or something, And, but the one in Detroit is all acoustic. They're doing 40 dates in this tour, and
Nice.
only 2 of them are acoustic. I'm like, that's got to be pretty special.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because online I'm looking, everyone's all pissed off. Oh, why would this band be doing acoustic? Because electric's their thing, I'm like, or look at it this way: they are doing acoustic, and you're one of 2 cities that actually get to see it.
Yeah.
They'll come back next year, I'm sure, and see the normal thing.
Where at?
So it's at the Urethra Franklin downtown. It used to be the old Hart Plaza.
No. So we went to that. We went there. We saw Lord Huron there.
No shit. I love Lord Huron.
They were great.
Yeah,
They sounded great. The lead singer's from Okemos.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The lead singer's from Okemos.
Okay, so
band.
We were standing
Great
next
song.
to his aunt. You were standing next to his aunt.
no shit. So
Yeah.
the only reason I even knew of Lord Huron, I randomly heard a song, I think on 107.1, like the Ann Arbor station or something. I'm like, holy shit, that's really cool. So then
They've got some good. They've got not like
Well-
it's not like a metal, hard. It's just
No,
a
it's-
chill, mellow band that you wanna. You
Right.
could sit and actually watch and listen. You don't have to stand. And
well, I've always wanted to go to Red Rocks, so every year
I want to go to Red Rocks so
never
bad.
been either?
No.
And they always announce, who's coming, and me and my wife will be drinking coffee, and that's the shit I look. I'm like, oh well, and I was looking if we could make a weekend out of it, and Lord Huron was the one last year that it would have worked out perfect.
Oh, well, yeah.
And she's like, well, what are they? I played the song. She's like, oh my god, that would actually be really cool. I
Yeah.
never knew the dude was from Okemos.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
And then the next, you said show's coming up. It's that one, the Saviors Tour.
Well,
Ministry.
We do have Ministry. That'll be sweet.
Who did I just want to go and see? Oh, I'm going to Paul Oakenfold.
I'm not even
Paul
sure who that is.
Oakenfold's a DJ.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to see.
Well, you
Paul
said
Oakenfold.
earlier, so not on camera here, but that you had a big electronic.
Oh, I
phase
love
guy.
electronic music.
Still, you. I mean,
Still.
Okay.
I tortured Jen with it constantly in the car. She's like, "Turn this shit off. It's the same thing." I'm like, "No, it's not. You can hear different things." But no, I'm a big electronic guy. It all started at Lollapalooza with a group called Orbital.
And I've heard of Orbital.
They closed the show.
Dang.
That's crazy. And it was never really my thing. I never got into the rave scene. I always like to say I was probably on the a little bit front of that. It was a little bit behind me, which is probably a good thing.
That's probably a good
Probably
idea.
not a bad thing. But I appreciate everything.
Mhm.
I mean, it's definitely a craft.
I will listen to whatever. I'll go. I'm not a huge country fan.
I'm not either.
You want to go to Luke Bryant?
Yeah.
To Luke Bryant.
I'm going with Kane Brown, which I heard is kind of like country light, but it's
Yeah.
country enough.
But I'll go check out. I'll go check out any shows if there's
Yeah.
something going. I'll take the opportunity to go.
Exactly.
It's a good night out.
It's going to take something I really want to see to pay the money for some of this shit.
Correct.
The one actually you went to, Manchester Orchestra, that was what, at Freedom Hill?
That was with Jimmy Eat World. I saw Jimmy Eat World that winter, and then they came with Manchester Orchestra, and Manchester Orchestra was really good.
See, Manchester Orchestra is one I would rather see than Jimmy Eat World. I'm not, to be honest, I was never really familiar.
I've seen them probably four or five times already.
Okay.
I felt after college, after getting done playing soccer, I played for about 4.5 years professionally after. I fell into sales. I tried getting back. I had an internship at, remember BMG?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So BMG.
I still owe them money.
Probably.
And Columbia
Damn
House.
CDs. BMG.
You will find me in Kankakee, Illinois.
BMG also owned a bunch of not radio, but Jesus, I just drew a blank. They own Time Bomb Records, Arista Records. All right, so you had Natalie Imbruglia, Dave Matthews was there. So
record studio.
Labels. I got in. I started doing that. Was my internship. So I fell into sales after getting done playing soccer. I went back to them to say, hey, would you hire me back? And they were on a hiring freeze, and Sony ended up buying them out. So I fell into sales and ended up doing advertising sales with 89X.
Okay. Oh, really?
89X, 93.9, and it was
those are my favorites back then. The River and 89.
What a great time.
Both out of Windsor, right?
Out of Windsor. They had a sales office here, but what a great time, and that was my opportunity to really go to shows.
That's awesome.
And
then you see, like, this shit I never knew about you. You know, you're kind of your time after, and to be honest, I was never a social media guy, and I never really kept up that way until we started.
Until recently, And you're gonna find a whole bunch of people out of the woodworks. You'll be amazed.
It is so cool though. And like I said, I mean, the odds of you being at my house, if you asked me like 2 years ago,
absolutely.
I won't be in your house 2 years from now. Fuck no.
Get out of here.
Not that I don't like the guy, but what are the odds?
Fucking motherfucking keeper in my house. There's already one. I don't need another one here.
I tell you what, oh my god.
Goalies in one house.
If my wife sat and watched us just go back and forth, it would probably be fucking.
That's funny.
Creep her ass.
They followed the same path.
Every
same thing. Yeah, and it was. It really. That's the other weird thing. It really was. It was.
So when you played, were you listen to music, pump up before a game?
Always. Yeah, you always had your headphones on. And
See, I was never a headphone guy.
These, that I'm wearing now. I mean, that was it. That's all.
But I loved the mixtape before the game. Playing as you're warming up.
I put 1 year on the Butler mixtape, Lords of Acid song on it. They're like, what in the hell is this? I'm like, leave me alone. It's me. I need my moment for a minute, please. Yeah. Let me get this wagon. They're like, what the hell are they listening? Blame it on Placek. He plays this shit. That's what it was. 1 year.
I'll never forget our playlist, and we had this dude that would, help out the SID and whatever they needed or whatever. So he's like, "Yeah, I made a mixtape," and he puts it on, and it's got "Boy Toy," that song for some wrestler or some shit.
Wrestling, it was yes.
And it's literally playing as us and this other college team are and Dominic Vella within 10 seconds runs up and is like, dude, what the fuck is this? You better get it off of here right now.
Get rid of it.
And it was you take it and fling the CD and someone put theirs in and it's got Wu-Tang on it,
Yeah, the warm-up tapes are in the locker room, just the locker room tapes, but when it depended with you're at an away game, you had your own get up and how you did it.
No, see, ours away or home
it just didn't matter. We didn't have at Butler. Our locker room was decent. They're absolutely amazing.
Ours we shared with the other sports.
That's a shame.
Of course they got their own now, which is super cool. You love to you love to see them get more as you've moved on. You feel like you've helped create that. Right?
Yes.
And they wouldn't invest if you didn't.
The best thing.
The program.
And it's down at Butler. It's once they had that run at the NCAA tournament. Oh. And then switched conferences to the Big East. Yeah. That's when all their money came in, and donations, of course, too. They're always doing it every year. I'm getting phone calls for donations, and
I remember. So after graduating, coming to Indianapolis Butler a couple of times when because you were after us, you played in the finals against UIC.
Yeah,
and we went to Butler, the night before. I think it was me, Keith, and Georgie. Mm-hmm. And but another time we went. I think it might have been during the basketball when basketball
The run.
or something was going on, and it was me and my brother and Pickler and Tricky Nick were all, and we partying down in Indianapolis. I mean, it's a good,
Downtown's
it's a fun
great.
city.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
safe,
actually
it's clean, it's really nice.
It's a really fun city. And I used to do a ton of work just outside of there in Franklin.
Yeah.
Kind of more of a rural area.
You go right out of Indy, and it's just country. It's
but
straight
no,
country.
I was really impressed, hanging out there. And that was like 25 years ago. I can only imagine it's gotten even better, So, the one thing I did want to ask you about, you got a boat.
I do.
So how the hell did this happen? Because it's funny because I've kind of gone back and seen like some of the old posts and stuff, and I think I saw it from, I don't know, a year or two ago or whenever it was.
This is the fourth year.
It was something like, fuck it, I guess I'm going to get a boat
Pretty
or
much.
something.
It was. That literally is, I hate to say it, literally what happened. I went out on the water with a friend of mine. They own a bar in Mount Clemens. And I went out on their boat on a Tuesday. It was when all my divorce stuff was pretty much starting, and I had a blast. And I had a boat prior. My parents had a cottage up north. I had a little 19-footer, and it was great. Well, this one's, and it had one engine, and it was simple to drive, and you didn't really have to know any kind of navigation, any kind of navigational stuff. So I went out with him. We went out on a Tuesday night, went to a couple bars on the water, and had an absolute blast. I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm doing this. So I went and just started looking. And next thing you know, the first one I was going to buy, you have to get them inspected and evaluated and all kinds of stuff, and it failed. Luckily, it failed. So the gentleman said, hey, look, is this the kind of style that you want? I said, yeah, it'd be great. Right there on the spot, he made a phone call. And the next day, I was down at the Detroit Yacht Club looking at this. It's a 34-foot Silverton. It's 1994. It had very low hours on it.
I've seen the pictures. It's like a massive boat.
It's a house on water.
Yeah, it's almost like a house boat.
It has it's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 showers, a kitchen. It sleeps. I could sleep 6 to 8.
Yeah. I wrote here, what is its name? Because I saw it and I thought it was the best thing ever.
So its name is called Last Defender, and the last defender for who doesn't know soccer, the last defender on a soccer field is a goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
So you're supposed to name it after a woman or whatever. I'm like, you know what, this one's mine. I'm doing this for me.
I always like seeing the names of boats, and I loved that one, obviously, because it was near and dear to me. And then you got the Bulldog on the back.
It's got a Bulldog on it, the Butler Bulldog, and then I don't know if you saw on the right of it. So if I could draw or had any artistic talent, I literally would probably be covered in sleeves of tattoos. I don't have one tattoo because I can't draw worth a shit. So I asked a guy, I'm like, look, I draw stick figures. That's it. Can you find something that could be like a goalkeeper or something? So you need a symbol. And he found this goal with X's as the net and the stick figure guy in the middle with a ball with little round hands, and that's my little symbol. It's a guy in the goal. And awesome. People come by and like, last defender. Oh, it's soccer. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But it is an adventure. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You're washing the thing, every week. It gets dirty quick.
But
gas sucks.
I always say this is a lot of work, like doing the podcast. But I say this is my golf.
Yeah.
I could be out golfing 3 times a week. I could be bowling. This is what I do. And that's what you do. It's something that you find fun in doing. What? At this point in my life, I've decided it's more important to have fun and everything else.
I am going to enjoy myself.
Absolutely.
I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to be miserable anymore. I'm going to enjoy it. 100%. And this is a really good way to.
And I will say, I have enjoyed myself thoroughly today.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
It has been way too long.
Absolutely.
And the beauty of it is we're going to go to ministry.
We're going to ministry. Yes.
We're obviously going to see each other at Green Day and Pumpkins.
We'll get you guys on the boat.
And I want to get out.
Seriously.
I want to get on this goddamn.
Let's get out.
Let's do an episode on the boat.
You know what? Right in front where I'm at, there's power. You can actually do it right from there, and you can have a crowd.
Oh my
I'll
god,
get a
that'd
crowd.
be hilarious. We should do that.
We can.
We get all
Absolutely.
the old crowd from that part of town.
We could get a bunch of people there. I've got a lot of space. There's grass. There's everything at where my dock is.
Oh my god, we're doing this.
It's
we're
fun.
doing it.
Absolutely.
100%. Awesome, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you came.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Absolutely. This was
Hey,
great.
so I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, we got Alan Placek with us, episode 5. Make sure you check us out on our socials, the YouTube channel, everything else. See you.